What's up, guys? This is going to be the start of a series for Magix Vegas Pro to try to help people out. I am I'm not perfect. I edit messy, but I get the job done. So don't even don't even stress about being nice and neat or doing it the correct way all the time because I'm far from doing that. But unlike other people that try to teach you stuff, I'm just going to go straight for it. I'm assuming you guys already know how to drag in files. Drop them here, put them on the timeline, right click properties, disable resample. Okay. Those are always the first steps. Make sure everything matches. This first chapter in tutorials, I guess you want to call it, is about rhythm and the many different ways you can have rhythm making a montage on beat. Most people go straight for velocity. Velocity is great. I love it. It's bread and butter. Don't get me wrong, but it can get a little aggravating sometimes because things just don't line up right, and you don't feel like cutting this and cutting that and stretching this and stretching that. And it gets all confusing. So here's just a bunch of different little ways you can just stay on rhythm using velocity and a lot of other things. Remember, this is my first time trying to do this stuff, so bear with me. I will get better. I promise you. Right click on your audio and go to group, remove from, click that, and get that sucker out of there. The audio from the gunfights, the game audio. Get that crap out of there because we'll deal with that later. Okay. And no, we're not going to go stretch this, cut that, move this just to get the audio to line up right. Now, we ain't got time for that. We're moving here, so we got things to do. So yeah, right click on your audio, go to group, remove from, and move it to the right. And when we're done lining everything up on beat with our music, we will come back to that. And making your mark for your beats, which is M on your keyboard, by the way. I'll just do the whole entire song, get it over with, or at least half. So it's like something like this.
Sometimes I think
Zone
about
out.
you and all of the things that you put me through, and I hate every single memory. Sincerely yours from how we've loved.
And that's it. And if you mess up, just grab them and put them right where you messed up. So right there. That's a little jarring. I could have made it smoother, but to get into your velocity, if you don't know, it's right click, insert remove envelope, and check it on. So what I do is I eyeball it. I don't even do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8, with my arrows. That's not how I roll. I ain't got time for all that. So I'll do one dot right on beat, and then like right about here and there, and then one here and there. Okay. Usually, excuse me. Usually, you'll want to have the dot that's right on beat a little to the left of the beat, and you'll see why here in just a second. Future crash here again. Here's a clip of exactly what I mean by the dot, just a tad bit to the left. These are like, it's a small clip, but it's got all kinds of good examples of what I'm talking about the fall or the action afterwards. But anyway, middle dot, right click, set to 600. Now this is my default go-to, though I don't use it all the time. And after you set that to 600, hit slow on this line and fast on this line. And then come to this dot right outside of it and set it to 10. And same thing goes for this one. Set it to 10. And you can see here. I kind of slow motions them away. Bam, bam. Hey, and don't be afraid to mix it up with velocity, guys. I mean, play with it, dance with it, get crazy. There is no right way to do velocity. I remember when I started, I was just like, man, what's the default thing that, but they're just not, you just go with your video, get creative. So again, middle dot just slightly to the left of the beat, which is 600, and then 10, 10, and then these two right here are always default normal 100, and slow on that line, fast on that line. Leave these alone. That's how I did the first kill. I'm sorry I had to show you over there, but like I said, I'm all over the place. So you don't have to be perfect. It's just the render has to be perfect. You know what I mean? All right, so right there after I did my default velocity, we had two beats coming up, right? Well, I didn't feel like doing velocity. So I just cut it twice and jumped on beat. It's that easy. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. My editing don't start till after this because it crashed on me and it didn't save it. Everybody knows how Vegas is. But right here, I cut it, okay? And I took a chunk out, moved this over, excuse me, cut it again, took a chunk out, moved that over. That's all I did. Bam, bam. Okay, right here. Instead of doing velocity or cutting it, what I did was I zoomed in with pan and crop. So I just come straight into here. We're on default ratio here. And then I zoomed in right when he's ADSing on beat. Okay. No. Yeah, there is actually a beat there. Yeah. So it's on beat. You just can't really hear it. And then right here, of course, I copy how far we zoomed in on the timeline with this keyframe right here. Right click copy. Okay. And I placed it right here. And these are right click on these keyframes here. Excuse me again. And select smooth. I don't know why I didn't do it on this one. So right when I'm coming out, my pan and crop, I'm coming back to my default ratio there. So now, another thing that I did was, as you can tell, probably already seen it, I ejected my mag right on beat because, I mean, that's just cool, right? So how many things have we done already? We've done velocity, default velocity. We've done jump cut, jump cut. We've done pan and crop out. And now we did it on the exit reload or on the exit of the mag, which if you look is not exactly where it would have happened. So I cut it to make it do that. Okay. Don't be afraid to cut it. It's so fast, people can't even see it. It looks cool anyway, right? So, I forgot to mention that everything I'm doing, you don't need any plugins for. Okay, this is just all standard Vegas stuff here. I might do another one with like Twixer Pro, but right now this is just for anybody that's got Vegas. Ejected the mag, right? All right, so what I do next on beat is when his hand's coming down to put the mag back in, I'm a little off right there, but I take the camera, I take my pan and crop and I tilt it in the direction that the mag and my arm and the gun is leaning towards to create that immersive type of, vibe, feeling, whatever. I haven't seen many people do this. It's just something I do. So you see how I'm doing the window. Bam, right when it goes down. Okay. Then I copied this last keyframe right where I stopped turning the pan and crop window. And I copy and pasted it here. Okay. Now his fist is getting ready to come down and jam the mag in and go back to regular default firing, regular default stance. Okay. So of course, all I did was I moved the next keyframe to right where he gets done and it's getting ready to go back into his stance. Okay. And again, I right clicked all these and made them smooth. So how many things have we done now? Quite a bit, right? And we've only used velocity one time. All right here, I cut it again. I cut it just a little bit. That way he can get going behind this box because it looked out of rhythm and sluggish. We want that snap. We want to get it going, you know. Right here, my second time using velocity. Same thing as I did in the first one. I might have even took it down some because it's a very, see, it's the triangle compared to, yeah, look at that triangle compared to this triangle. That one's a lot bigger than this one. So I made this one a little bit littler. Remember, I'm eyeballing it. So, you know, and like I said, you don't have to be perfect. It's freaking velocity. Get crazy with it. So just enough to get the extra little step going, you know, keep the, bang. All right, here's where it gets interesting. I pan and crop in, I pan and crop in again. Now I'm going to reverse it with velocity on beat. You know, get a little jiggy with it, you know what I mean? So, all you got to do that in velocity is drop it all the way down, all the way down. And on these, I put fast when we're coming back up, and I put it on slow. That's all you got to do. Make sure these dots are back at 100. So I popped them on beat. I might not even pop them on beat, but I reversed it back onto beat, which looks so dope. I could probably do it a little bit better, but you get the picture. So I also pan and cropped back out to regular screen size when I let him finally fall down for the second time and then snap to the last person on beat, and he dies on beat. See, right on beat. Okay, now I got crazy with it right here. If you're still following me, cool. If you need me to slow down, let me know in the comment section. I will try to help you out more. This is my first time. I'm winging it right now. But when I first started out, it took me forever to find somebody that actually helped me understand and learn how to do this stuff. Until one day I finally I got it. You know, it just snapped and I had my own thing going finally. And I think teaching like this is better because it don't put so much stress on you, because this shouldn't be stressful. First off, it should be fun. So don't worry about being messy. Don't even worry about knowing all the key binds for all the shortcuts, because I don't even use them. I know a couple, but I don't use them all. I'm a mouse guy. Right click all day long. You know what I'm saying? Space bar and JKL. See, I don't even know. That ain't WASD. I'll tell you that. Okay, on this last part, what you need to do is take a picture of right where you stopped, then move the video to the right and put your picture down in here, stretch it out so you got room to work with here. Go in your pan and crop and mask the gun, okay? Once you mask the gun and have this selected to negative up here, make sure this is at negative. Take a picture of that, because it'll just be the gun and it'll be black. Place that underneath your first picture that you did up here, okay, or up here, okay? So put your second picture you took of your masked gun down here and keep your first picture up here. All right. So what we're going to do is, on beat, we're just going to keep the first picture masked, okay? Don't mess with it. We're just going to take the gun and we're going to pan and crop and pull it down. That's all we're going to do. We're just pulling the gun down, okay? And once the gun's pulled down, take your original picture, which I started right here, make you a keyframe, and I pulled out. Now, this is just, I made this up in like 10 minutes. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And this seemed, it looked pretty good and it was clean, you know, which is what we're going for. We want that cleanness. So I pulled it out as far as I could. And then I brought in the original starting clip again, because I'm just using this as an example. And I copied our mask from this one. So I went right click, copy, and then I grabbed our original clip at the beginning and I placed it right here next to it, right where we could get as far out as we could with this. And I paste event attributes. Right click, paste event attributes from the copy that you got from here. Okay. So right click, copy, right click, paste event attributes. Now you'll have that same mask that you have from this one onto this one. And what I did was I just pulled it back as far as I could, just like the one before. And now we're going to do it in reverse. So we're just going to come back. That was loud. And down here, we just made another copy of our gun, put it right here. And in our pan and crop window, we just put it in reverse too, all on beat. So I'll try to see if Vegas will let me run it all without hiccuping here.
Sincerely yours from How with Love.
Now, that was, a lot of that was a little jarring, but if you take your time and you can smooth some of that stuff out, especially the beginning. The beginning was really jarring. I didn't know. I didn't realize it was that jarring, but instead of going straight into it as fast as I did, like this one over here, what I'll probably do to smooth it out was I would extend this area. So I'd be like, make sure that first one's default. Normal. Set this one. You could put it to like 20 sometimes. Sometimes 10's too much, but so that's a lot better. Might even bring it up some. So it's all about just playing with the velocity, man. Dance with it. Get crazy with it. Sometimes you'll do shits you can't even, it just happens to align on beat and you're like, wow, that is cool. And again, I try to fit as much into this little segment that I had that I could think of with the room that I had to give you guys examples of trying to stay, you know, in rhythm. It ain't all about the velocity. Okay, so this was the game audio down here on this green line here, and I just pulled it in a little bit, and we went and found where the first kill was. All right, so all I did was I found where my first flare comes off the gun there. Bam, right, and that's where I start. Well, actually, I started a little bit early. You could do that sometimes too, because you know the brain. I don't even know how to explain that, but you know what I mean. So basically, when I first see the flare, a frame or two before is fine, but you get the point there. That's where you start your audio. And you want it to end right where you get the kill, not where when he's falling down, when you get the kill. So if the game has like a sound to let you know that the dude's dead, like this one does where it goes beep, that's where you want to put the direct kill. And you don't want any more firing after that, unless you continue to do so. But okay, I'll show you another one. So yeah, just cut that up and use the rest of the sound out because you want that background atmosphere for the game gives you. Sometimes if I don't have enough, I'll just copy it and I'll squish it together and nobody can tell. It's so right there. That was my first shot. Sometimes you won't see the flare. Sometimes it might just be the bullet. First shot. So I dragged it over this, the atmosphere. That's where it started. The cue where I killed him was right on. Perfect. That one I might have started a little late, it looks like. Yeah, that was perfect. Right on. You see how I cut it up right here? See, I shouldn't have done that. When this happens, either pull it over onto it or make sure you don't have the fade in and fade out right there. Make sure you don't have this crap going on. I know it's something so little, and a lot of people don't even recognize it when they're watching the video, but it bugs me, and we're trying to, hey, we're unorganized, but we're going to render it neat, right? Okay. So when he got pulled back up, I added that sound in too. I didn't skip it. You got to be thorough. Thorough. You got to keep it 100. And right on beat. Or right on death, excuse me. Dead. So that's how I do my sound. Right click it, get the hell out of there. And then we'll come back to do that later. If you want to, you can start doing it as you go. That way when you get done with your montage, it's not going to be like, oh man, I still got to do audio. So you can do it as you go too, but it's up to you, however you prefer to do it. Just I find it a lot easier just to get it out of my way if I'm doing velocity, because velocity is going to mess it all up. Y'all know this. And then you got to stretch it, pull it, no, screw all that. Anyway, back to past crash. And again, guys, just have fun. That's you're expressing yourself, right? That's why I got into doing it, because it was a way to express myself in it, and it was just really just fun. You can't do this shit out there, you know.